Hello and welcome. So, AI has basically crashed the party in our schools, right? And today, we're going to try and navigate the fallout. Is this thing a revolutionary tool for learning, or is it a genuine threat to what an education is even supposed to be? All right, let's get right into it. To really get the stakes here, we have to go back. I mean, way, way back. This quote, it isn't from some tech blogger last week. It's from the 1950s. The philosopher Gunther Anders was warning us about what happens when our technology starts to outpace our own ability to understand it. And wow, does it perfectly frame the central question we're all facing today. How do we use AI so that our world, and especially our students' world, still has a meaningful place for us? Because let's be honest, this change wasn't gradual. It was a shockwave. November 2022, tools like ChatGPT go public. And just like that, the classroom is a totally different place. Overnight. Suddenly, every single student has this superpowered research assistant, an essay writer, a problem solver, right there in their pocket. And every educator on the planet was forced to ask, what on earth does it mean to teach, to learn, and even to think in this new reality? So to figure out how we should be using AI, we've got to understand the risks first. And believe me, those risks go so much deeper than just, a kid cheating on a history paper. Researchers like Andrew Swindell and his colleagues argue the real dangers are actually much more philosophical. They kick things off with this idea from Gunther Anders called the Promethean discrepancy. It's basically the gap between what our tech can do and what our minds can truly comprehend. Just think about it for a second. An AI can spit out a 1,000-word essay in seconds. But can a student, or any of us really, fully grasp the ethical and intellectual implications of that act in the same amount of time? No way. That gap, that's the danger zone. And then there's this concept from the philosopher Michel Foucault, regimes of truth. It's all about how these massive, powerful systems get to define what even counts as true in a society. So what happens when trillion-dollar corporations like Google and Microsoft are the ones building the AI that delivers information to our students? Well, they are, in effect, building the new regime of truth. They're deciding which data gets included, which biases get amplified, and ultimately what the correct answer is. So what this all boils down to are some very, very real risks. We're not just talking about outsourcing homework. We are talking about outsourcing meaningful thought. Students become incredibly vulnerable to corporate manipulation, to AI hallucinations that just make stuff up and present it as fact, and to algorithms that just reinforce our worst human biases. And in the middle of all of this, our students become unpaid data providers, literally training the very systems that are shaping their reality. Education is in danger of becoming an act of consumption, not creation. Okay, so that's the problem. And it's a big one, for sure. But here's the good news. Researchers aren't just pointing out the dangers, they're actually offering us tools to navigate through them. And the first tool we're going to look at, it acts like an ethical compass. It gives us a direction, a purpose, for even using AI in the first place. Swindell's team, they draw on these intellectual heavyweights like Paulo Freire and Hannah Arendt, and they argue that the ultimate goal of any education technology should be what they call humanizing action. See, the point isn't just to make students more efficient little workers. It's to use these incredible tools to help them become, as Freire put it, more fully human, to actually engage critically with the world and their place in it. And here's where this whole idea gets really practical. They lay it all out on a spectrum. So down at the bottom end, you've got consumptive labor. That's when a student asks ChatGPT to write an essay and just turns it in. Nothing is really learned there, right? In the middle, you've got work and creation. This is when a student uses AI as a tool to help them research, design, and actually build a project. That's definitely better. But the goal, the true north on our compass, is humanizing action. This is using AI to research a local community problem, then create a real proposal, and then use that work to actually try and persuade the city council. The technology becomes a tool for real-world agency. But look, a compass isn't enough, is it? A compass tells you which way is north, but it doesn't tell you about the mountains and the rivers you've got to cross. For that, you need a map. And that's exactly where our second framework from a research team led by Yimi Ning comes into play. It maps out the practical, on-the-ground knowledge that educators need to make this journey. They call it the AIT-PAC framework. It's an updated model designed specifically for the age of AI, and it breaks down all the different kinds of knowledge a teacher has to blend together to use these new tools in a way that actually works. So let's break down how this works. The framework starts with 3 core things you'd expect. Content knowledge, which is what you teach, pedagogical knowledge, which is how you teach, and now AI technological knowledge, which is understanding the tool itself. But the real magic, the important part, happens in the overlaps. When a teacher can blend the tech with their content, the tech with their teaching methods, and then finally, achieve AI TPAC, that master skill of weaving all three together seamlessly. And here's the real kicker from their study. What they found was that a teacher's skill with the technology itself, and specifically how that tech intersects with their subject and their teaching style, that was the single biggest predictor of their overall success with AI in the classroom. It means knowing your subject inside and out isn't enough anymore. You have to deeply understand the tool. Okay, so we've got these two really powerful frameworks. One is a philosophical compass, and it's pointing us toward humanizing action. The other is a super practical map, and it's detailing all the skills teachers need. So now let's put them together. It's actually pretty simple when you see it like this. The compass, from Swindle and his team, it gives us our purpose. It answers that big question, why are we even using this tool? And the answer is to empower students, to foster critical, humanizing action. Then the map from Ning's team, it gives us our ability. It answers the question, what do we need to know to actually use this well? And the answer there is a deep, integrated knowledge of the tech, the pedagogy, and the content. And this right here brings us to the most important insight of all. You need both. You absolutely have to have both. A teacher with all the technical skills in the world but no ethical compass, they might just end up creating more efficient consumers of information. And on the flip side, a teacher with this powerful humanizing vision but no technical skills, well, they're not going to be able to put that vision into action. You need the map and the compass. Which really leaves us with this one final massive question. AI isn't going away. It's the new hammer, it's the new printing press, it's the new calculator. The tool is here. So the only question that really matters now is, what kind of world are we going to ask our students to build with it? Thank you for watching.